Hey everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 313, recorded on April 22nd, 2025. And we're going to be talking all about Nintendo Switch 2, the upcoming new system from Nintendo, along with Mario Kart World. They had a direct recently. We're going to be talking about Paul Rudd in this podcast. So I hope you're ready for all that. My name is Steve, and of course, I am joined by our co-host Barry and Greg. Barry, how you doing, man?
I'm doing.
You're
It's
doing
coming and going. I'm sick. Good news, I'm no longer sick. All the
good.
illnesses
Good.
are gone, but my allergies, and as well as my wife's, have flared, and we're suffering from post-nasal drip, which is just a ridiculous cough. And I've been good for a while now. Tonight, it's back with a vengeance, and I'm like sitting here coughing, and I'm like, oh, this is wonderful. Like I'm out in public, and I'm like, I assure you, I'm not contagious. It's literally just allergies. I got tested for everything. I'm good.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is I've been dealing with all this, and it's kind of like made me a little anxious because believe it or not, I'm going to be playing a game of leapfrog.
Like
I am going to be
literal leapfrog.
leapfrogging over Greg and over you in just 2 days. I am going to be going to Level Up Expo this weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I will be
Hmm.
leapfrogging you guys.
You are
Yeah.
nice.
I'm going
Well,
with PM, so we'll have a
wait.
booth
When
there.
when
And
are you going?
Thursday. I'm flying out Thursday.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna hop over, and then I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go to the East Coast right after you come to Vegas. So,
Oh, really? That's
yeah,
funny.
not nowhere close to you. I'm going to Atlanta, but
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
What's funny is I'm going with PM Studios because we're all going to be there. We have a lot of games to show off. But ironically, Premium Edition is going to be there as well.
Hmm.
So I'm going to get to see, some of my former colleagues as well as my new colleagues. So it's going to be
Nice.
a good show. So if you're listening to this, go to Level Up and come say hi. I'll be there, and
Cool.
it'll be a good time. But it's funny, all this time you're always traveling and I'm never not. And I was like, hi, I'm going over.
Yeah.
I'm going to the
That's
West
fun.
Coast Pacific time.
Wave as you fly over. Yeah.
Well,
We
I'll be
should,
um,
like, eh.
just for funsies, we should record like a re-recorded episode where you guys are reverse time zone switched.
yeah. Yeah.
I'll only be there for a couple days, and I'll
Well,
be busy.
that other voice you hear is Greg's. Greg, how you been doing this last couple weeks?
Pretty much hanging in there. So lots of stuff been going on around at home, and my wife has actually been in Florida the last 5-6 days, so she'll be coming home tomorrow, and be excited to have her back in town. So been plenty busy and getting lots of things done, and taking care of the dogs all on my own.
You've been enjoying
Nice.
that bachelor life for a few days.
Oh, of course, yep. Yeah, and my daughter's been around a number of the days as well. Like we had like a lock-in at one of the Chicago museums, and that was a lot of fun there. So um got to learn all about the T-Rex and stuff there at the Field Museum.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I've been incredibly busy. Somehow I fit some games in the middle of all this, but not many. But it is a very, very busy season of my life. As you guys are probably knowing, if you're tuning in, you're like, hey, you started recording this 30 minutes late. Yep, that's my fault. Because I've been incredibly busy trying to fit everything in. But yeah, if you've never joined us live, join us live normally every other Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. And we stream live on YouTube and Twitch. We'd love to have you just join in that. Joining in on the live chat because you guys collectively are our other host of the podcast. We love interacting with you guys throughout the entire episode as we record it live, and then also getting to interact with you guys in the comments and everything afterwards on social media, all that stuff. So if you haven't followed us on social media, please do that. You can find the links in the show notes, but also in the YouTube description, and the links are going to be on the screen on the video version as well. And we'd love to have you join us on social media and our Discord, and have you pop over there and interact with the rest of the community. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much wraps it up for like the beginning kind of stuff, except for, oh yeah, hit the like button. We don't really tell you that very often, but it helps us, and also helps other people find us, as well as if you want to share this podcast with other Nintendo fans that that are out there. But we've got lots to talk about with Nintendo Switch 2 stuff going on. We've got a few updates with the current Switch as well, but the time is looming that the new Switch, the new console, is going to be here very, very soon. But until then, we're going to talk some news. I don't think we have any rumors this time, but some speculation. We'll chat about how the internet's going crazy about a lot of different things with the pricing and all that stuff as well. But before we get into any of that, of course, we're going to talk about what we have been playing, and we'll go to Greg first.
All right, so this will be a somewhat quick list because I've been pretty busy with other things been going on as previously discussed. So I did a little bit more of Guns and Fury. So we'll be doing a game chat here, hopefully soon than later. And then I don't know if it was mentioned on the podcast or if it was just post podcast, but Barry had us play a game called AI the Somnium Files. So I had a little trip up with talking about that there. So I didn't get a super far way in, but I did finish like at least the initial tutorial part area. So it's really kind of hard to have any sort of like major judgments. I mean, the story definitely seems very interesting and engaging so far, but I mean, I'm sure there's probably a lot more content and stuff to go through, and even different gameplay mechanics as I advance through the story game. So other than that, I've been playing a little bit on the iPad with my daughter with the Roblox game with Adopt Me section of that. I'm still progressing through there. They have like a Cherry Blossom Festival event that's been going on the last like 3 weeks, all in honor of like a Japan like spring festival thing with different things to collect and play mini games and stuff around that. And then also still going through with the Disney Pixel RPG, and then they're doing their 0.5 anniversary sale, or not sale, anniversary celebration there. And then there's some quests and different things that I was completing there. And then finally, actually, at least from the before the last podcast, I did finally put a lot more into the Tokyo um, Tokyo Japan's on the brain. Pokemon trading card game. I had the letters reversed in my head and maybe think of a different acronym. So I finally leveled up enough to finally do some like trading and also doing wonder picks. So then I've finally got to like level 5, and then even did some sample battles there. So I finally had several logins over the last few weeks to make more than a single login, which I think was in the previous podcast. So um, it's still kind of interesting trying to collect cards, and it kind of stinks they keep adding more expansions because, like, well, then how am I supposed to collect cards in the new one and the old one at the same time? It was like a choice to pick which expansion packs to open. So it's
Yep.
just been kind of hectic there because it's like, oh, here's some duplicate cards too. So it's like you just wasted opening up a pack.
Just like real life.
Yeah, just like real life. But at least the cards, you don't have to fight scalpers for the packs. You get them no matter
That's
what.
true.
Yeah, very true. I can just go to McDonald's and get some packs or something too when those are back.
Yeah, unless they give you a Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie toy instead. Call it a Pokemon pack. Liars. I'm not bitter.
Not bitter at all. Can't
Not at
tell.
all.
I'm also not bitter that I could only get one in-game benefit from the Happy Meal. I was planning on going there and weekly getting a Happy Meal, and I got my second one, and they're like, "Nope, can't use more than one in game." I'm like, "This is dumb."
They say that right in the rules.
I know, but I didn't read them. I just said free Pokemon at McDonald's for Happy Meal, and I was in line.
You just lost
Stinking
yourself
rules.
a weekly loyal customer.
That's right. I think they'll be okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty much all I've been playing. So I can let Barry go into what he's been playing. His nice library, long list of games here.
Well, I feel like I probably need to jump in and let Barry know that I've also been playing AI Somnium Files as well.
I saw you
Yeah.
played for an hour. It's like played 10 hours ago, and then 9 hours ago you played Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm like, you played it for an hour?
I did.
An hour,
I,
Steve. That's it?
I did. As of what I said earlier, you should be happy that I got any time with the game. like, because I barely played anything. I don't even really know. I have Rocket League on my list, but I really don't even know if I actually did play it. It's just like a default that I always write down on my list,
Yeah.
but I really don't know if I actually played this last couple of weeks. But yeah, like I'll talk about AI Somnium Files. I think overall I'm having fun and it's interesting. I think, like Greg said, the story is interesting. It kind of feels like one of those mystery solving board games. I don't know if you guys have played those. They're like escape rooms, or you're trying to
Yeah.
solve a case or whatever. It kind of feels like that in real life, or not real life, but in a video game. Totally different in real life. Detectives out there going,
Just
no,
a little
there's
bit.
nothing close to real life in this. Especially all the different AI technology and everything. Definitely not there yet. Maybe next week, but not right now. Navigation is a little weird sometimes. After choosing some of the options, you have to like go back to the item and like trigger it again. And sometimes the dialogue, like if there's dialogue options there, but then it has the same intro, like, oh, there's a glowing flower. And you like choose one of the options and then you have to go back into it. Oh, there's a glowing flower. I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, you already told me that. So that's a little slightly annoying. I mean, these are not like game horrible things in the game. It's just like slightly little annoyances. Um, I noticed the ages of the different characters are like all over the place. Like that 12-year-old girl that you see at the very beginning of it, she looks like the same age as her mother. And then you're getting introduced soon after to a 24-year-old boy that looks like he's 9. I mean, like, come on. Like, again, minor nitpicks, but I was like, no way that kid is 24. And then and some things I noticed that, like, so I was playing on handheld because that's the only way I could get in some gaming, and I noticed that some things you can tap and navigate with on the touchscreen, which I thought was really nice. Because navigating with the analog sticks is kind of annoying, at least on handheld. But some things you cannot tap and move through and progress through, and so it's very inconsistent, like what's available to tap and what's not, and what progresses the menus and all that stuff. So that was interesting. And I kept thinking, honestly, like I'm only an hour or so into it, so like I I may have actually spent more time with it. I think it triggers an hour until you hit the 2-hour mark. So I think it was more like
Probably,
an
yeah.
hour and a half or something like that. But is there a game before this? Because it feels like I've
No.
missed some things in Dante's like past.
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
That's the whole point.
Okay.
You learn things as it goes on.
Okay.
There is definitely aspects of Dante's past, and some of those do play into the story, but you have to, that all gets revealed. This is the first game in the series.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might be a little bit past Steve then because like I'm discovering like he has no memory of before 6 years ago, so
Right.
it's kind
6
of
years
like
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it, it
Yeah.
plays into the fact that that's why he doesn't really remember everything, and that's obviously been used in other stories, but obviously there's a detective ones that should be a little bit more interesting.
Oh, I assure you, this is not what you're thinking. Like these games will take everything you're expecting, like it's going to be this, and then it's going to be, oh no, it's totally different. It's
Hmm.
nowhere near what you could possibly be thinking of,
Hmm.
and that's what makes it so exciting. Because when it's predictable, it's boring. So
Hmm.
when it flips you, because before this, the developer did the Zero Escape games, 999, Zero Time
Oh.
Dilemma, and Virtue's
Okay.
Last Reward. So there are little hints, like references, like the first trailer to the second game. One of the characters is humming while playing a handheld, and she's going through Zero Escape or the 999,
Hmm.
and they recreated the first escape room from 999 in the second game, and
Hmm.
it costs exactly 999 coins to unlock it, and you can do it. But then it's not the rest of the game; it's just the escape room. It's little fun things,
Hmm.
but
That's cool.
it is from the creator of those games. So if you played them before, then you have an idea, and if you haven't, you really should. And sadly, they're not on the Switch.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you're enjoying it so far
I'm
because
enjoying it
it's a
so far. Yeah, I
mystery.
think I'm on my third day, I think, because it's
Did you
breaking
get
into
to go
like days or times
inside
or
yet?
whatever. Did I get to what?
Yeah, like go inside the mind of somebody yet?
Uh, I went through his dream and introduced the Somnium itself.
Where you get to
But
play as
then
Iba and walk
yeah,
around.
and then I think I started the next one, but didn't really get very far after that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
think
really cool when
so.
you're in the dream sequence and
Yeah.
everyone's dreams are really warped and everyone has their own little inner demons and secrets that you can uncover, and
Hmm.
somebody who you think is a terrible suspect might actually be a perfectly normal person with
Hmm.
trauma, and someone who's really good and seems perfect on the surface may have some, undiscovered or undisclosed drama or
Hmm.
trauma that you uncover, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. So it gets really deep. I mean, you're obviously
Hmm.
just in the beginning. What do you think of the opening where it comes in the carousel and there's literally a dead body like tied to one of the horses with, missing an eye? Like,
Yeah, it was. I didn't know what I was getting myself into because I had no clue. I did no research at all. I was just like, oh, Barry told me to play this game, so here I am playing it. And so I was like flying into this. It was cool cinematic kind of things coming into it, but I was like, what am I playing? Like, what is this? But it was cool. I don't like how I don't know like I don't know like how I was stuck in the beginning and could only turn and like that sort of movement. When I got to actually play as Iba, like that was better because it felt more like a Life is Strange kind of game where I was actually moving around in the world and interacting. When I was stuck in one place just turning around, that was annoying.
so it goes in between pretty much, like you get a list of like, here's places you could go, and then you stay stationary and you could click around the environment. But then when you go inside their head, it's more open and you could
Okay.
do things. So it's a mixture. But there's a lot of fun things. Like I think in the very first scene, there's one of the detectives you could ask his name, like when he's one of the forensic guys,
Hmm.
and he's in you're gonna see him again, and if you keep
Okay.
talking to him and you keep getting his name wrong, like he gets increasingly upset at you for messing up his name, and it's like a running joke throughout the entire
Hmm.
game that you could have fun with. Like
Hmm.
there's a lot of that humor. Like
Yeah.
it is a funny game, even though it involves death and murder and all
Yeah.
that. Like it's to be taken seriously, but also the game itself is like tongue in cheek. Like
Hmm.
they're not taking themselves totally serious. Like the kid who's 24, he's a very interesting character, and I'm sure have you met Aset yet, the idol? She was actually in the
Hmm.
trailer for Kodami Date. Please save me.
I
She's
don't
got the pink
remember.
hair.
That sounds familiar, but I can't remember names. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not
it's
sure.
it's an interesting as it
Hmm.
goes on. I'm curious to see your takes, but
Yeah.
it's a fun game.
Yeah.
Definitely worth $4. My God, that's a steal.
Greg, did you get about the same place or how far did you get along?
Well, I was just analyzing. It sounded like you might have just barely passed like me because like the part that I was at was still like in the office. So I just unlocked like, the next part of the map to start like fast traveling to new
Okay.
locations.
We
So
are in
I,
basically the same place then. Yeah.
yeah, it sounds like you might have just barely just went to the map and started doing a little bit more. But that's
Yep.
where I was really grilling the boss, and because that kind of ties into what Barry was saying with the humor, because she's like, "Please stop asking me about this case from 6 years ago. Please, I'll
Yeah.
have to do this if you
Even though
just
you
keep."
brought it up saying there was
Yeah.
a copycat case, but at least he brings it up to her as well. Like you're the one that
Yeah,
brought it up.
Oh
but I
yeah,
do
he
appreciate
he's
like
not a,
definitely
he's not a
appreciate how
silent
they changed
protagonist.
the he definitely changed like his like the speech. It's not like the like some other games where it just repeats the exact same dialogue over and over again. Like he
Right.
actually has there's different things that like are said like each time, and
Hmm.
it's that's where it's kind of funny and amusing to try to. I don't know if I should keep pressuring her for it, or
Yeah.
if like it's will be mute at some point and just be like, hey, like just
Yeah.
cut it out.
Well, it's interesting too. Like I think other games, similar games are like that, where like there's certain dialogue options you pick and it ends the dialogue. You're moving on, so you can't go back and pressure about a certain thing or even get the option to talk about this thing anymore because that's the option that you chose that moves things forward, and it's hard to know like what's going to do that because I'm like, no, I had two other questions to ask, but nope, I picked the one that moved it forward now, and I can't go back and do it anymore. So,
Well, there is a hidden ending in the game that actually involves pressuring somebody, like constantly choosing the same option over and over. And I won't
hmm.
spoil it, but it's a completely hidden alternate ending. It's non-canon, but it's just like you badger someone enough, and eventually, and they're like, "All right, fine," like after enough no's, they finally do actually say yes. And I thought that was really cool to put in there. And if you don't get it, I will tell you, but I don't want to spoil it yet because maybe you'll wind up stumbling upon it and having fun with it. It is definitely a fun alternate. ending that is totally not canon.
Nice. Other than that, I played some Star Overdrive, which Barry and I are going to be talking about in a future game chat. So I won't talk a whole lot about that, but just say that I'm enjoying it. It's kind of like a Zelda side of feeling too, that I did not expect that of this game. And then, which is a good thing, I'll say. And then there's I'm playing the Pokemon trading card game as well, and some Clash Royale, and maybe Rocket League. I can't remember. I've been busy. So. But they did just release Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cars
Oh.
and stuff in the game. So I may have to. I haven't spent a lot of money in that game in a long time, but I may have to go and get the Turtle Van. I'm not sure. So Barry, what have you been playing?
Yeah, so my list is long because it's a lot of game chat stuff. So on the Switch, still playing Pokemon Unite. Last time I was just shy of finishing Xenoblade Chronicles XDE, which I did then finish the next day. And boy, I can't wait for Xenoblade 4. I really can't. They did in my opinion, they did everything I wanted them to do with DEs and the ending, they did. Um, I would have liked to have obviously seen a little more, but I don't think they wanted to confuse people. But it was just a perfect way to end that game, and the only way I think they could have ended that game, to keep going with X. Um, Fantastic game though, definitely worth playing. My next game that I'm actually playing for not review purposes is Lunar Remastered Collection came out, so I'm going through Lunar 1 again. Great RPGs. I haven't done Lunar since the PSP remake, which was God, what, 2006 or something like that. So it's fun to go back and do Lunar and to eventually 2 afterwards. For Easter, my dad came down, so we booted up Tato Milestones because he loves Quicks. We used to play Quicks all the time on the Atari, and Quicks is part of that. So we were playing through some Quicks, which was always fun to see him turn like a kid again playing a video game. And then Nintendo's had this sale, so a lot of times when they have these digital sales, I like to look for either A, games that are digital only because they're not physical, or B, digital versions of very expensive physical games that I already own, where it will cost me more to open it to play it than to just download and play that way and keep the game sealed, because that's physical game collecting now. And I wound up stumbling upon this solo dev. He's a couple games, and he had a bundle, and it was like cheap. I think it was like $2 a game or something, nothing big. So I played one of his games. His first game was called Shalnor Legends Sacred Lands. It was a Zelda clone, and well, not the best Zelda clone I've ever played, but for one person, I thought it was fantastic. In that regards, I had a lot of fun. I think I put like 10 hours into it. Just a lot of it was grinding because it involves upgrading, and whenever you give me the ability to upgrade and the ability to make money very, very quickly, I'm gonna sit there and grind. That's just what I do. But it was a lot of fun. It was 4 little areas, dungeons. The combat was simple. A lot of it was puzzles, a lot of trap puzzles, a lot of spike puzzles. Very much, the developer loved doing those. But I thought it was clever because it had a day-night system, and like you could change the day to night, and at night like there were ghosts out, and they would sell stuff. Like if you go to the desert in the day, there's like wasps out, but if you go at night, they're all sleeping. um so that was kind of cool that there was like certain caves would only open at night. So I was like, "This is pretty neat." It could have been fleshed out more, but again, this is very ambitious for one person. And for it was like $2 on sale, so I definitely got my money's worth. So he's got 2 more games in the series, and I do plan to see how those go. And now game chats or reviews. Which Way Up Galaxy Games. Played a little bit of that, which I'll do a review on. I don't know if you didn't have a chance to play it, Steve, so I might just do a solo on that one.
Yeah, I installed it.
Uh,
That's about as
you
far as I
installed it.
got. Yeah.
Um, Treasure Hunter Simulator. I did that. A Hook Complete Edition, which is a puzzle game. It has nothing to do with Captain Hook. Star Overdrive, like you mentioned. In fact, Star Overdrive, I had so much fun with, and I got so involved with that eventually I got stuck because it involves crafting. You can craft on your board. And I was like, well, is there a crafting guide? I don't want to waste materials. And I looked and I couldn't find a crafting guide. So I reached out to I don't know. I froze now. I don't know if I'm frozen for you guys.
Nope.
I probably. Oh, okay, good. So I reached out to the developer, and I talked with the lead developer. I found him on LinkedIn. I wound up getting in contact. We wound up talking. He wound up giving me some pointers. He gave me a bunch of things that are happening. So Star Overdrive is getting a big update very soon. There's a lot of things going to be fixed or adjusted. I started working with him. I found like a few bugs. I was like, oh, these are bugs. Here they are.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to implement them.
Hmm.
And he let me know like, oh, they're coming soon. So I thought that was really cool.
That's cool.
And so I wound up doing an industry talk. I'm frozen again, so I don't know if you hear me or
Nope.
not.
You're good.
You're completely good on our end. We could see you
Yep.
moving just
So
fine.
if you hear me say something, because I don't hear anything.
Yeah, we can hear you.
This is
Yeah.
so
This
here's
what's
the cool
happening.
thing. So I can hear you when I turn on YouTube, but I can't hear you through the app. So this program. So maybe you'll come through.
Weird.
There we go. I see the guest chat. So I can't hear you, but whatever. I'll probably wind up restarting after I'm done talking. As long as you could hear me, we're good. So I have a game chat I recorded and I sent that to Steve. So that will be going up soon. I'm trying to get some codes for the game from him so we could do a giveaway. Really nice guy. He was beyond shocked. He said a lot of reviewers played the game for maybe an hour and then gave it like a bad review because they just didn't understand it. He said you were the first reviewer to like reach out, talk to me, go above and beyond, which was really cool. So, some NintendoFuse, pro there. So hopefully he shares our stuff. But I had a lot of fun with the game. I didn't finish it, but I'm close. I think I'm
Yeah.
halfway through. But it's a
Cool.
big game. The map is ridiculous,
Yeah.
and like you said, it's very Zelda-like. It's like Breath of the Wild with a hoverboard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot to that game.
That's
So
cool
we'll
to
talk
hear
more
like
in the
some of
game chat
those
proper.
updates too, because I
I
think
played
those were
Abathor, which is another game I'm doing a game chat on. It's like an action, almost like Rastin, if you remember Rastin, mixed with a little golden axe and like gauntlet characters. A game I didn't hear about at all, and I got a review code for Nico Dorico, The Magical World. Like the director's cut just came out. It's a free update. This is a 3D platformer slash 2D platformer. It's like Donkey Kong Country meets Crash Bandicoot meets Rayman, and the music is done by David Weiss. So it's got like the Kong letters, but it's Nico and IKO instead. They're the same square. It's got hidden barrels for bonus areas. It changes perspective from like side scroller, Donkey Kong to like running in or away from the camera like Crash Bandicoot. It's really, really interesting. I don't know why I never heard of this game. It's got co-op. You can play co-op, drop in, drop out co-op. A lot of fun. So I will have a game chat up for that recording. Skies Above, which is an arcade game, which has that style where you will die and then you come back, almost like roguelike, where you have to, you get permanent upgrades you earn, but it's not roguelike in the sense that it's like random stuff. It's a more arcadey. So I thought that was really cool. It's from Flynn's Arcade. We've done a couple of their stuff. And then Beyond the Ice Palace 2, which is a Metroidvania style, action platformer. Uh, Tougher than I expected. A lot of fun, and I oh, I didn't know you jumped in, Steve. So I'm just talking,
you're good.
so I can't hear you. So when I said when I'm finished this, I'm gonna drop out of this and come right back in, and then I'll want to hear whatever you had to say. So sorry about that. I didn't mean to talk over you. I see Greg's message. From what I see, I'm just literally talking to a blank wall. Like it might as well be. But yeah, I'm having fun with Beyond the Ice Palace too. It is a tough game, but hopefully, I know Greg. You're supposed you got a code. I don't know if you're gonna get a chance to play that anytime soon or not. PC still doing 14 and mobile Mario Kart Tour and TCG Pocket, of course. So I will be right back. I'm gonna close this window and I will be right back and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for those that are listening after the fact that I probably edited some of that out, you're gonna be like, "What is going on?" Barry had some time where he could not hear us, and so I
There we
responded
go.
to him.
All
There
right,
we go.
fine,
We're good.
good.
So no, I was so I was just talking about Star Overdrive, and just that's cool that some of those are being addressed, because I noticed the same thing. I was like, we started crafting, and I was like, I have no idea what any of this does. And so like that
So
was yeah.
he's he specifically said he's going to make the crafting easier. He said the first um there's like the shrines, right, where you get the abilities. Did you
Mhm.
get the jumping ability yet? Where
I
you get
think
to place
so.
a where you get to place a platform and then use it to
Oh
jump and
no.
elevate yourself?
No, I've not done that yet.
So it's a really cool ability, which is fantastic. But the shrine you're locked into, because you know how you're locked in those shrines until you leave,
Yeah.
is a nightmare because it's a fantastic physics puzzle. You kind of circle this thing and keep going up. But
Mm.
the way you do it is it's two sides and you have to put these platforms on the ground, jump off and hit them and use your momentum to get to the other side. But
Hmm.
because you keep going higher and higher, you have to keep putting more and sometimes you have to put multiple because you're getting farther away too. So like you put a jump
Hmm.
pad down, jump onto it, bounce up in the air, put another pad down, land on that, and like crazy things to get out.
Dang.
And I told him, I said I almost quit. He's like, yeah, a lot of people have problems with that. That's the
Yeah.
hardest shrine in the game,
Hmm.
and it's mandatory. It's not optional. He's like, so we're gonna make that easier.
Hmm.
And then there's a race you have to do before the first boss unlocks.
Yep.
And he said you need 30. Did you get to the first boss?
Yep.
Or okay, so that race I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't beat.
Oh
And he's like,
really?
you need like 30 speed and 30 boost. I kept falling
Uh
short. Where you have to
See,
like go up
it
that loop
shows
to
that
loop.
I was short, but I was still able to do it, no problem.
Oh, I
So it was
hadn't
interesting.
upgraded anything at all at that point. I was
Oh,
using
okay.
like
I
the
had upgraded
oh
some things, and then I got stuck soon after that. I there was another encounter that I was able to like I forget what the thing is, but you're supposed to like you basically like wrangle this beast that's like flying all over the
yeah,
place.
the
And
hunt zones.
I'm hunting, I'm hanging on to him, and I get knocked off by the things that he's shooting up, and I wrap around him again, and I'm doing no damage to him. I have no idea how to attack him at
So
all.
what you have to do is you have to grapple him and then switch your power to the rocket power. Blast him with rockets while you're
Oh.
dodging the rocks, and then when you get his stamina bar down, he'll jump at you, and you have the choice to attack him by pushing Y or stun him with X. I choose
Uh,
Y, and Y you just instantly attack him and you do damage. And depending on the stars, tells you how many times you have to do that. So if it's like a
okay.
3 star, you have to do it 3 times.
Okay.
And then when you kill him, you have to go inside his mouth and you get gravitanium as a material,
Uh,
which this doesn't tell you this, but he told me this. If you craft and use gravitanium, even just one piece, the component you get will give you an ability to travel on other terrain at random. So like you can get it so
oh,
you could travel over water or over that black stuff or over like
lovely.
the yeah, like it's not tell
Yeah.
it doesn't tell you that in the game. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's so genius." So you get gravitanium from there and in the shrines, like Zelda, there's a hidden
Yeah.
chest. You can get it from there. So if you use more than one piece of that, it'll be a little stronger and there'll be other benefits, but at least one piece will get you an ability. And if you have multiple pieces, like 3 pieces where you go over water, you get like a boost on water then and stuff like that.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
I'm glad to
again, these are
see
things
updates are
that no
coming.
one yeah,
Yeah.
these updates are coming, but there's none of this information out there, and I think that hurt the reviews of the game because I was gonna quit. I couldn't do that race. I was like, I'm gonna quit this because I can't beat the race. I can't move on. I played enough of the game. I felt, and then when he told me that, and I crafted, and I have the ability to go in water and over the black stuff, and when you're going over like the rust, it doesn't wear me down anymore. And I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, this just opened up the game now. Now I could
Nice.
sail across, and I could do so
Sweet.
much.
So I'm
So
so
little
close to
hints.
getting that then.
So yeah, yeah. There's
Nice.
hunt zones in a lot of places.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm excited to get some updates. I'm excited to make it a little further, and I'm excited to do our game chat eventually as well. So that's exciting. So look forward to our game chat, but also industry talk. It's going to be
Yep.
posted on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. Let's move on from what we've been playing to move on to some headlines. We had about 5 headlines of various types this time, and so we know what's going on in the Nintendo world. So, Greg, you want to kick us off with some Nintendo music updates?
Yep, as with previous episodes, we've got 2 more weeks of new music tracks being added to the Nintendo Music application. 2 weeks back, we got the soundtrack to The Legend of Zelda from the NES, and then more recently, on the 21st, we got the soundtrack for Fire Emblem Engage was been added in. So if you're a big fan of the music app, check out these latest tracks and more that has been released in the past.
And as you know, Nintendo's been doing the Nintendo Switch 2 experiences all across the country, and New York City was the first one, and I unfortunately did not get picked to go. But Jared did, and he wrote up a great piece on our website. So go to NintendoFuse.com and check out all that he had to say. He got to play games, he got to hold the system, experience it all. So definitely check out his write up. He had a great time, made me very jealous because I could have been there with him, but I was not picked. Damn you, Nintendo.
That backpack alone was worth it.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
want that backpack
know.
so bad. Yeah, let's
I
scroll
got
down and show you
gypped.
guys the backpack on the screen right now.
I
Yeah,
That was a
so
free
good.
gift for everybody that came.
So good.
Ah,
Well, if you if you remember back in the day, the Super Nintendo commercial with Paul Rudd, which I don't know if we really knew was Paul Rudd at the time or he wasn't really popular at the time. Well, Nintendo's brought back Paul Rudd for a Nintendo Switch 2 commercial and kind of tongue in cheek the whole time. He does his own voiceover this time, and now you're playing with power, sort of thing. But now you're playing together is the phrase that they've used this time. But if you want to see both of them side by side or on top of each other, Nintendo of America has posted that on their Twitter and I think various other social medias as well. So you can see them running right alongside each other and have some fun of yesteryear, but also see Paul Rudd has still not aged one day.
All right, so we got some NSO updates that just came out in the last few weeks here. So initially, not long after the podcast, we got updates to the Genesis application. You got Streets of Rage, Super Thunderblade, and eSWAT City Under Siege. And then a little bit more recently, we got the Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons and Ages being added in. And I think literally just earlier today, we got to celebrate the anniversary of Fire Emblem. We got Sacred Stones. All three of these games are from the Game Boy Advance. So be sure to check out those two apps. Check out these latest games that have just been added.
Fire Emblem was added yesterday as of recording, and the Oracle games came out in 2023. They're not new. They've been there for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we talked about the Triple I Initiative, which is coming out, and it did air. It was a big 45-minute show. They had a ton of games, a ton of things shown off. The only negative was not a lot for consoles. It was definitely more of a Steam show. Some games that were coming definitely look promising, like Katana Zero, which is already on the Switch, but it's getting a free bonus update. There was this really interesting game that was like Speedrunners 2. Looked like a lot of fun, and that is going to be on the Switch as well. They call it the Mario Kart of 2D platformers. So will be interesting. Actually, after this aired, I even talked with the person who put this on, and he said next year they're shooting for even more console games. They actually had a bunch of console games that, unfortunately, due to last minute things, had to be cut. So next time there'll be even more console games. But definitely check it out if you haven't already. It's a great show put on by great people.
Cool. I actually didn't get a chance to watch it yet, so I need to go back and watch the whole thing. I watched the little quick recap, but it was like 45 seconds long. But that's about that's about it. So, Greg, anything stand out to you from this week's headlines?
Yeah, just a quick note. I apologize for the mistake on the Oracle of Seasons and Ages. Nintendo of America decided to be funny and tweet something relevant to that. So I thought that meant that they were like just added in the last 2 weeks here because I was just scrolling through their profile on X and I was like, hey, there's Oracle and Seasons, and Steve said there was Game Boy Advance game, so that must be what was added in. So
they also talked about Ocarina of Time or something like that on N64 as well.
Yeah.
I caught that as well. I was like, wait a second, isn't that already out? So I almost got caught in the same thing you did, Greg.
But yeah, thankfully I knew about that because I knew there was like the issue with the water temple for Ocarina of Time. But yeah, so I apologize for that mistake, and thank you very much to Barry for clarifying that mistake. But yeah, in terms of the headlines, it's always great to see more music. I actually listened to some from the Legend of Zelda because I really do really like the music from the first game. I don't think Adventure Link is there yet, but I hope it comes soon because it's awesome soundtracks are from the sequel, like the temple theme and everything else from there. Hoping that comes soon. Always great to at least one of us Nintendo Fuse reps had got to go to do one of the experiences. That was really great to see that Jared got that opportunity, and obviously like with Barry, just very jealous to wish that could have been me as well. Paul Rudd thing is a weird throwback, but it's kind of cool that they brought it back to do stuff like that. I don't know if it also said they did like a Switch One as well too, but maybe not. I don't know if I misread that as well, but it's still pretty cool to see a callback to Super Nintendo along with the Switch 2 ad that he just did. And then yeah, it's always great to see more games on the NSO, and still need a lot more games than the pace they've been doing, but I guess we'll take some is better than none. And then yeah, I did watch some of the Triple I interactive thing, and then I think I was getting kind of spaced out at one point, and then I wasn't. It was more just like listening to it and didn't really like follow like super closely at all the games. But that's probably be one of my homework assignments to go back through, and because I usually find some really good indie games from some of these shows, so it probably deserves a more dedicated viewing of it to go back and cover that better.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's funny that people have been kind of referring to the Nintendo Switch 2 as almost like the Super Switch, and we even toyed around if they should even use that name and stuff. So it seems like Nintendo is also kind of leaning into that. This is like, you know, in the same vein as the NES to the SNES. But Barry, anything stand out to you from these headlines?
Yeah, I think just on that, I want to say I think it was one of those new developer things they released because they did on the webpage. They actually talked about how internally they were going to call it the Super Nintendo
Hmm.
Switch, but then they wound up doing with the Switch 2. And I'm kind of wondering if this commercial was in production with that name in mind, that it was going to be called the Super Nintendo Switch, which was great. Why call back to the Super Nintendo
Yeah.
now? Um, but yeah, I'll see a lot of comments like you should have called it the Super Nintendo Switch. This is perfect. But yeah, I thought the commercial was hilarious. It was definitely tongue in cheek, and what an interesting callback. Nintendo Music, it's always good to see, new stuff there. NSO, same thing. I'm happy to see they haven't forgotten. And I think they posted with Fire Emblem, NSO plus expansion pack now has 300 games,
Hmm.
which is awesome. It should be 301, but maybe Super Soccer will eventually come back. I do not like them losing games.
Expansion
But
pack's different than the regular one, so I think that's the one that's like N64, Game Boy Advance, and the other consoles that aren't included with the base tier, which is Super Nintendo and
yeah,
NES
I'm
and Game
saying
Boy.
with the expansion pack, it's
Oh,
300, but
okay.
Super Soccer was removed, so it should be 301. But like I said, I'm jealous of Jared. I'm happy he got to go. I'm glad he had a great time. I would have loved to have gone, but luck was not on my side. And
Hmm.
as like I said, the Triple I initiative, I watched it. I love what they do. Like I said, a friend of mine helps put it on. I had talked with him, had a meeting with him after, and we discussed it, and I congratulated him, and looking forward to seeing what they do next year. And I flat out told him, I said, get more console stuff. Steam is great, and I know a lot of games start on Steam, and then they come to consoles,
Sure.
and a lot of those games very well will be on the Switch too. They just can't say it yet. They don't know it yet, but it'd be really cool to see some more console stuff. And he agreed. So we'll see what happens next year. But they're already talking about next year, which is awesome.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I agree with you guys, especially about Jared. Man, he started posting on social media about it, and I was like, dude, you need to write up a post. And he's like, just little insight. He's like, I'll see I'll see what I can do. And then the next thing I know, he pops out this like 3,000 word amazing article that has all these photos and stuff. I'm like, you didn't just see what you could do. You did an amazing job on this. This is great, and just making me envious the entire time as I'm reading through it and looking at all the pictures and stuff. So yeah, definitely head over to NintendoFuse.com and check that out as well. And yeah, I thought the Paul Rudd thing was just hilarious. And maybe I'll get around to checking out Triple I hearing that there's not a whole lot of console stuff in there, it's not on the top of my priority list. We'll just say that. I'll probably just look through. I think GameSpot has the full list or whatever, and I may just look through the list instead, and then I'll go after the ones that sound interesting to me, maybe. But yeah, I love the fact that they started putting more Zelda soundtrack stuff on Nintendo Music as well. That's the stuff that like I love that Mario's on there or whatever, but I don't listen to Mario or really even Mario Kart or a lot of other game soundtracks, but I'll listen to Zelda stuff all the time. And so they keep putting Zelda music on there. That's the stuff that will actually keep me coming back to open the app. Like I listen to Zelda stuff when I'm like cleaning the house lots of times. It makes it sound like this epic adventure that I'm like okay to do instead of just, cleaning the house like, boring. Like, no, I am on an adventure. I am Link.
Steve, why are you holding up that toilet brush?
Da, da, da. Exactly.
You're getting dirty toilet water on the ground and everywhere. What are you doing?
Oh, I am saving Zelda. That's what I'm doing.
Stop breaking the flower pots in the bathroom. There's no rupees.
We don't watch them and start going, again.
Stop rolling down the stairs. It's not going to get you down any faster.
Oh, so yeah, let us know what you guys think about all these headlines. Let us know in the comments here on YouTube, but also feel free to let us know on social media or on our Discord. Well, let's move into the main discussions, and this time we're going to be talking, as probably is going to happen the next, I don't know, the future of this podcast indefinitely. We're going to be mostly talking about Nintendo Switch 2 moving forward, and so the first thing we want to talk about is there was a little another direct, like another one. We go sometimes months, almost a year, I think, at one point is what I felt like between directs, and all of a sudden we've got 3 dropping back to back to back. And so we got a Nintendo Direct, of course, all focused on Mario Kart World. And we've got all the details on NintendoFuse.com. You can also check out the video there as well. But before we jump into details about it, let's just get overall thoughts that you thought about the Mario Kart World Direct. What do you think about this, Greg?
So this was a very weird spot because, like, I know, like during like the Treehouse Live, they were really pumping up and saying it was going to answer all sorts of questions, but it felt like 80 or 90% of it was just like regurgitated stuff that they talked about during the Treehouse. So I don't know if it was intended for those that had saw the Treehouse footage and everything from that. But I mean, I had like higher expectations, saying like, "Hey, what all these different modes are we going to dive into?" But then the bulk of the direct was just kind of reiterating stuff that we already knew, but then obviously all the stuff that they did reveal was fantastic. Like just trying to see some of the new stuff that we'll be diving in here in a little bit, but it was kind of like a mixed bag, and I think that's where if I were to give like a thing, I feel like they set my expectations really high, saying like, "Oh, we'll be revealing all this information in a few weeks," but then basically it was like 10 minutes of the stuff that they already covered in the live, and then like a couple sentences on this, and then not even fully diving into some of the things that were even shown. So it was kind of a very interesting direct for me personally because I feel like they, like I was saying, they kind of set the expectations a lot higher, and then they kind of failed to somehow not meet those expectations.
Yeah. How about you, Barry?
I mean, it was a glorified trailer, and like you said, when the word direct is there, you get this expectation. At least something is worthy of being talked about. And it was honestly like an infomercial. It didn't really tell us anything really new. The biggest takeaway I had, which was apparently part of the treehouse, and I just didn't watch that part of the treehouse, so it was new to me, was that some classic courses are coming back but reimagined.
Mm.
I didn't know that. So it was kind of cool to see like Chocolate Mountain and Wario's Shipyard and stuff like that.
Toad's
But
Factory.
otherwise, yeah, Toad's Factory. Otherwise, it could have just been a trailer. Like we didn't need this big build up unless they had something really big to show, like single player story mode or something like Diddy Kong Racing. That would have been worthy. But a lot of people were disappointed. because I expected something a little more
Yeah.
than what we got. But I mean, it is what it is. It's more Nintendo content.
That's true. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think I expected more, but at the same time, I enjoyed what I saw. It looks fun. I'm still excited about this game, but yeah, I think I was hoping they would give us more. And I think honestly, coming out of all the different arguments and everything about the cost of the game and all this stuff, I was hoping Nintendo was just gonna be like, okay, we've told you it's worth $80. We're gonna show you why it's worth $80. Here's all the stuff we have packed into this game, and I don't think they reached that point. I'm still hopeful for the game, but I don't think they did an adequate job of saying, "Hey, this is why we're charging this price for this game." I think they, hopefully, maybe there's still some things they left out that they didn't talk about, but maybe I'm just being hopeful. But yeah, I think they could have done a better job at that because, like you said, it was a glorified infomercial. It was great content, but I wanted more.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy to see. I mean, I was almost expecting almost like a Smash Brothers type thing, like all the tracks are here, like all the like that's expansive. I mean, that would be worthy of like the title right there because they've reimagined every track that's ever been in a Mario Kart game. But
Hmm.
um, so I that's where kind of where my mind was kind of running, just because like Smash Brothers has already done it kind of thing. Like where it's like, oh, the Simpsons did it, but Smash Brothers did it. So I was almost, I mean, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has a quite a huge array of tracks that's covers a lot of the older games, and I don't know how many more updates would really be needed to really have all those like fully running in world
Hmm.
if they are going to be added as DLC. But I mean, that's kind of where my mind was going, was like more tracks or maybe some try a track editor people have been wanting,
Hmm.
but and like none of this stuff was, neither of those kind of ideas were even pulled out through here.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get into at the end of our discussion around the direct, maybe some speculation, maybe some things that we would hope that would be in that might be in the game, like a track editor and things like that. But let's get into the details of what they did share. Of course, they focused a lot on the interconnected world. So this is uh, I believe, like I've seen other people who have dove into like all the previous Mario Kart 8 trailers and stuff when they've showed off different tracks and stuff, and like, oh man, I think this is right next to the other one and all these different things. Well, actually, we're told this is exactly what's happening in Mario Kart World. They are a part of this entire like gigantic world, and you get to race a lot of times from one track to the next, and if you can connect them all together in a couple different modes, and of course go on the free roam sort of thing. So between the interconnected world, we have three main modes that they talked about. So they have or actually four, I guess. So you have your regular Grand Prix, and but in that you're traveling from your finish line in one to you drive to the next one, and then you take off from there. And so that's a change a little bit on the Grand Prix, but it's still basically that sort of thing. And then you have a knockout tour where basically it's checkpoints along the way, and you have to be at a certain place in the standings in order to keep moving. So it's like this ongoing race that you're like, okay, you have to be at least in 20th place, and then 15th or 10th or whatever that is. So then you get knocked out if you're not. Then you do have the free roam mode that allows you to kind of drive around, but at least they showed a little bit of like why you just want to drive around. There's also things to find. They're like hidden coins and P switches, and you can snap photos. All these different things that are built into the free roam mode. So that's kind of cool. It's not just driving around and just chilling, but you can do that too if you want to. And then they of course have battle mode. They have balloon battle and coin runner. Coin runners are the only two battle modes that they showed off so far. So we know, they added some additional ones, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe don't seem to be there. But at least balloon battle and coin runners are present. So of the interconnected world, of those four modes that we know, what do you think of that so far? Anything like stand out that you can't wait to get your hands on and play? What do you think, Barry?
I think it's really cool with the interconnected world. The last time they really did anything like that was Double Dash, where you can see other courses. So it was like an interconnected world without you being able to actually just free roam. So I'm interested to see what those P switches do and what those finding those coin blocks do. I think it's neat how in free roam you could just go to like the burger shops and like it seems to like unlock the costumes. It seems like each character has 8 different costumes, so it's a lot of slots. What upsets me is that they took the time to take the stuff from tour and do that, but they didn't bring over a lot of characters that people would want to see. Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, Kamek, Funky Kong. None of those are there. The Koopalings are gone. Uh, a lot of the babies are there, but it just feels like they just like, oh, we did this for tour. How can we reuse these assets? I think the knockout mode is great. I know it's been in other races. It's not new to Mario. Like it's not a new idea for Mario Kart, but it's the first time Mario Kart's doing it. And from everything I heard, people had a lot of fun with it. Like it creates a whole new frantic mode. What upsets me is that they didn't decide to do a point system because I think the point system in Tour has made like almost like rejuvenated my love for Mario Kart because it changes the way you play every race. Because it's all like, oh, there's coins on the side. Let me go out of my way for them. Like normally you wouldn't, but now it's like, well, if I do that, I keep my combo counter, then I get more points. But I might lose my position. Is it worth it?
Hmm.
And it changes up so much. And I felt like this was a great opportunity to pull that in and just make a new mode with it. The other thing is it seems like all the courses are one way. Like maybe they'll do reverse courses. I don't know if that will unlock. But again, the tour added in the trick courses, and the trick courses changed the courses to be something completely unique. And unfortunately, it seems like that again is not the case here, and it sucks because that's an easy way to literally double the course net count. But they didn't do that. I mean, they added things like the ride and the grinding, which is great. Battle mode has me a little worried. I don't know if the arenas that are in there. Hopefully they're good arenas. Hopefully, that's not like Mario Kart 8 was, where it's like you're battling on the actual races.
Mhm.
Because that sucks. Because obviously you're in this open world, and we'll see if there's got to be more secrets. There's got to be more stuff that they haven't
Mhm.
told.
Yeah. Something I forgot to mention in terms of the open world and different modes. Of course, they've got like Mario Brothers Circuit and several other new courses, but they're all are bringing back some reimagined old courses. So they're not that they're making them the same, but they're kind of reimagined. And I did forget there are 2 other modes. There's a time trial mode that has been standard in Mario Kart, and then also versus races as well. So you can kind of set up your own rules and just race against friends as well. So those are also there. If you want to race against Ghost Data or race against your actual friends, those are there as well. So Greg, what did you think about the open world stuff and all the different modes?
The open world thing has me the most intrigued because it almost feels like it's gonna be like Breath of the Wild, but Mario Kart. So you're gonna be like, go around, you find like a drive-through, you get like a new costume, get rewarded for finding this. Like, oh, look over here, there's a giant P switch, and then it like triggers like a temporary timer, and you gotta collect some blue coins. And then, I mean, that almost seemed to me like a reminiscence of like the mission mode that like was in Mario Kart DS, and that was been something that a lot of people have been asking about. And then it seems like there's gonna be like hundreds, if not thousands, of these little missions all around the map. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if there's other things that those unlock, or if it's literally just gonna be like your favorite Korok seeds. Be like, oh, here's a little poop trophy for a good job. You found all of our missions that we hit around the
Oh
map. So
God.
like, so I hope it's nothing like that. But obviously, you don't want to have a lot of the main content being locked at finding the bulk of these things, especially if there's so many of them. So um, that part kind of has me worried as like a completionist standpoint. But um, I mean, just the free range mode is got me. Like I was just saying, is the most exciting part to me. I mean, obviously Mario Kart's going to have a Grand Prix. It's going to have time trials. It's going to have versus mode. It's going to have battle mode. I mean, that's basically the Mario Kart formula since the
Mhm.
SNES. So it's like if it doesn't have these things, there's something else going on there. So it's great to see all those things come back. I mean, I hope there are more battle modes. I did like the other two modes that were available in 8 Deluxe. I think there was like the cops and robbers type mode. I'm blanking
Mm.
on the name of it, but you had the little the piranha plants in front of your car, and you had to capture the
Yep.
other team members. Like that was a ton of fun
That's
that
fun.
I enjoyed with my daughter. And then the other mode was just kind of just like the bomb on blast, so that probably won't be
Mm.
nearly as missed unless it's like an item in the game. But hopefully there are other modes that maybe they're trying some new ones. I mean, essentially the bomb on blast was just like the standard balloon battle, but just with only bombs as the item. So
Mhm.
won't be super missed, but the that other mode was definitely very a lot of fun, and especially how they were saying for versus you can do 4 teams now. So I think that was
Mhm.
also kind of glossed over in your little repeat there. So that's kind of
Yeah.
cool to see. You could actually have 4 teams of players if you really want to, or you could still do 3 or even 2, I'm sure. So that's still really cool there. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's great to see a lot of that stuff come back, and I almost wonder, are we still gonna get the 200cc, or is that also gonna be
Mhm.
unlocked later? And same thing with the mirror courses, are those gonna be options there? But
Yeah.
that's yeah, so I mean,
Yeah, I didn't
hopefully that yeah.
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say a lot the mirror courses have at least been around since the 64, so I mean, I
Yeah.
would think that that's a obvious shoe-in, but maybe not because of how big the world is, and I don't know if you can make the whole map, like, mirrored or something, that would be kind of weird in a way, but, I don't
Yeah.
know. You
Hmm. That is interesting, and I watched some of the Treehouse Live, and I didn't catch. I mean, maybe it was there, but I didn't catch them choosing the speed at all. Like it was 50, 100, 150 cc. I don't remember seeing that at all. So either
I
they
thought
were
he
playing.
mentioned like 100cc
Did he?
in the
Okay,
first race. He
okay.
might have,
That
yeah.
I'm glad. It'd be weird to see that go. But yeah, are they going to have the 200 cc mode? Are they going to have the mirror modes? All those different things we still don't know. I think it would be interesting as well. Like, I think versus mode, maybe this time it has even more options that you can change and kind of customize your own race. Honestly, I would love to see that in battle mode as well. Like, let us choose what items we're gonna want, and make our own little thing. If we want to blah and blast, then we make our own blah and blast,
Yeah,
or we come up with another, only kind of similar to GoldenEye, slappers only, sort of thing. Bananas
Smash
only.
Brothers.
That's all we're gonna do. Yeah. So that would be a fun kind of
Feathers
addition.
only. All you could do is jump
Yes.
around. No one can kill
Just
anybody.
jump on each other. Um,
actually, in 8 Deluxe, if you use the feather, you would steal a balloon if you timed it right. So, like,
ah.
you
Oh,
actually
yeah.
could end the game. I'm sure it would be a very long game if that was the only
Very long
way to do it
game.
because you'd be like, "I steal one from you, and you just steal one right back," and it'd just be like, it's
How many people would jump into each other, both jumping at the
Right.
same time?
Let's move into some of the other new things added. They talked about some new tech like charge up jumps, so you can charge up and not just drift and have like this minor little jump when you press a certain button, but you can actually jump in the game, which allows you to jump over obstacles. I think it seemed like it alluded to the fact that you can maybe dodge some items sometimes, especially if you're jumping onto a rail. You can dodge a shell, which is kind of cool. And as you dodge or as you jump on those rails, you can do grinding, and then also ride on the walls for a short time. The rewind feature is also new to Mario Kart, so you can rewind time if you make a mistake. However, this is in real time. And so everything else does not rewind around you. They keep going forward, and you're like, no, I want to rewind. So you got to use that sparingly, of course. There's also, of course, the smart steering, the tilt controls, all those different things that kind of accessibility features and things like that have come from the last version of the game. And then as far as characters and items and things like that, we've got new items like the coin shell, which allows you to uh, basically send a gold coin out, and it has a trail of coins that you can follow behind, or if you don't get it behind it, your other racers are going to be able to steal all the coins. I think you can stack up to 20 coins this time instead of 10 like the previous game. And then they have also Ice Flower, which of course would freeze your opponents. Hammer from the Hammer Bros kind of sounds pretty cool. Like you're going to be able to throw those out and they'll stay on the track for a short amount of time. So it creates this horrible hazard for everybody, in addition to the people you hit with the hammers. There's the Feather is back as well, and this time it is jumping again, similar to Super Mario Kart. Not exactly the same, but in the same vein as it was before. And then we have I was interested. Nintendo keeps throwing me for a loop in how they're pronouncing things. I thought it was Kamek. Apparently it's comic. I don't know. The narrator said comic. I'm going to still call him Kamek. But his magic to basically have different things happen on the track. I guess it's going to do different things every time you do it. You could turn a bunch of other characters into other characters, or spawn things on the track, or different things like that. So Kamek can cause some havoc. And then, of course, like we talked about earlier, we have the dash food as well. So this is you get through in-game drive-throughs, and this will grant you some character outfits. And we've said, I think, 8 per character. So lots of different outfits that you can be able to collect that way as well. So of the new features that they've added in, not just the new modes, but now honing in on the jumps, the rewind, the new items, things like that. Are you excited about all this stuff, Greg?
Some of it, sure, but other things are leave a little bit to be desired. So, like, at least with like the Happy Meal style things with the food, like I don't understand like why they need to have like full character slots and not just like a little side menu, like saying, "Hey, I want Mario, but okay, Mario without the hat, or Mario is like Mario Maker or whatever." I mean, whatever the outfit is. Like, I feel like that could be consolidated a lot better. Not like I saw that character select screen. There's like all those little boxes at the bottom, and it was like you're really gonna have to flip through like 6 pages of like characters and like
6. It's like 13.
I was drastically underestimating. Like I didn't like I had counted them at the time and I just threw out like a number and like I understand it was even more than that, but I
It's
just wasn't.
terrible.
But yeah, like I feel like that could have been organized significantly better. But the rewind feature has me kind of interesting. So it's almost like with the item thing, it's always like a roulette thing. So if you were to like use like the rewind thing before you hit an item box, could you actually like kind of change your fate and be like, hey, it gave me a coin this time, and then like whoop, hit rewind, and then like, oh, now look at this, I get a star because I pulled back and now I'm further back behind the group. So like I don't know, like I don't that's can be kind of an interesting take, and I can't see that being really allowed in the multiplayer mode probably for that specifically, but like the Grand Prix and the Knockout Tour, I'm sure they already have it balanced fine in there. So that'll be kind of interesting to see if there's like changes with something with that, or even if it's allowed at that, because it made it. They obviously showcased it where you like missed like a jump and then you like tried it again to do the jump successfully. So
Yeah.
um, I don't know if it's like a set amount of time or if like if it's like the um NSO where you can choose like between rewinding like 2 seconds versus like
Mm,
basically like 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds and then like it really pulls you back, or if it's always like okay, you hit this and you're only going back 5 and then that's
mm,
it from there, and like how much can you really use it? Like can you like basically go all the way back to where you started at the start line and all the other races are still obviously like a lap or two ahead, or like
mhm.
I don't know if there's any limitations with its use, but it should be kind of interesting to see all that come to fruition. Um, but yeah, I guess that's enough on the rewind feature. I had a lot of thoughts on that, but um, yeah, and I'm kind of blanking on some of the other items that we were talking about that because I had so much on that. But
No, you're good.
um,
Yeah. Yeah, just like the ice flower, coin
yeah,
shells, mega
yeah,
mushrooms back. Forget to mention that. The hammer, all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The new items are really great. I always like to see a little bit more on the balancing side of things because obviously the blue shell is like the curse
Mhm.
that everybody hates so much. So, um, I think they already said like that super horn was already returning, so you could still
Okay.
block off the shell, and I'm sure it will also clear out the hammers that are on the course and anything like that as well too. So I'm sure there's that's already been included. And then, at least for the hammers, I wonder if there's like how long they'll be like on the course, because it obviously showed like other players like hitting them, and is it going to be more drastic if you get like actually contacted before it hits the ground, or if
Mhm.
it's going to be more of it just creates a hazard for all the players in front of you? And
They won't
like,
stay on there too long. I think it's just a couple seconds. But it is interesting you brought that up, Greg, because it seems like from the trailer footage, but also at the Treehouse Direct, it's or a Treehouse Live. It sounds like they've incorporated physics more into Mario Kart than they have before. So I think depending on how you get hit, it affects you differently. So if it's a direct hit, you may get wiped out for longer. But if you get bumped by something, you kind of spin out to the side, but you can recover. And it does seem like there's more physics in the game this time, which I thought was kind of cool.
yeah, I guess it also fits along with my Breath of the Wild analogy there too, because that game has a little bit of physics too. So
Mhm.
yeah, that'd be really interesting to see how all this stuff plays together. But yep, gonna let
Nice.
Barry give his thoughts on these features.
Yeah. So for the items, it's funny because most of them come from Tour, so it's like the Ice Flower, Know It, Hammer Brothers. I use it all the time, so it's like these are not new to me. The coin shell is new, but I wish they instead brought over the coin block from Tour instead of the coin shell, where it's just like the block is in front of you and shaking and
Mhm.
coins are just going everywhere. I thought that was a more unique and definitely more Mario item, like referencing Mario stuff versus the coin shell, but it is
New
what it
Super
is. I don't
Mario
know if
Brothers 2.
There you go.
I don't know if the shell actually will hurt people or not, or if
Oh,
it just if
that's
it
a good point.
just goes through. I think rewind could be fun, but I want to see them. And Nintendo doesn't have the balls to do this, but I really want to see them do this. A special multiplayer mode that's playable online, where when you use rewind, everyone rewinds, and everyone has the ability to rewind,
No, no,
and
no, no,
just see
no,
if anyone can complete a race.
no, no. I know they don't have. They won't
That's an
do it.
awful feature.
Please don't do it.
Do it. Come on, Nintendo. It's optional.
No.
Let's make it happen. You get a special icon on your like, profile, like if you've actually completed one of these races.
Not worth it.
No, no, come on. You don't. No one would troll and just hold down the
Oh,
rewind. But let's make it
no,
so you can
no.
only rewind like 10 seconds at a time. That's it. And then you have a 20-second cooldown. So
Nah.
people
How would
can't
it work?
abuse it.
How would it work if like two players hit it within like that cooldown period?
Well, no. Everyone has the 10 seconds with a 20-second cooldown. So if I hit it and my 10 seconds now I'm in cooldown, you could still hit it during that cooldown. Anyone can still hit it.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
No, I want to see it happen. Come on, it'd be fun.
I can just see it now. Like someone gets like first place, and then like, oh no, let's rewind it, and then like boom, then they
Everybody,
get hit
nope,
with a
no,
red
you didn't.
shell, and then like somebody else wins. Like, nope, not happening. And then like somebody
No,
else
but
rewinds
everyone
it
would
again.
rewind.
Right.
Doesn't
The
matter.
game,
So
like we'd be right at the finish line for like 10 minutes. Just going back and forth, back and forth.
you think you would get to the finish line? Someone
Uh,
would hold rewind and bring it right back to the
yeah,
starting
that'd
line.
be after 5 hours of trying to get to the finish line.
I want to see it happen. Come on. You're telling
Well,
me if people did that and went on Twitch, people wouldn't just sit there and watch it during like their lunch break for the entertainment value, laughing their ass off? You
probably,
probably would.
probably.
Yeah, so see, make it happen, Nintendo. It's optional. Let's have some fun. Um, I think like Greg said with the costumes, it should have just been like the Yoshis
Yeah,
in Mario Kart 8, where just a window pops up and you pick. We don't need 1,000 pages.
right.
Just make it streamlined
There's
and
13
use those.
pages, not 1,000.
Yeah,
I knew it was coming.
I thank you, Greg. I set it up so you would hit it. The ball was there for you to spike, and I let you do it.
Speaking of Spike's in the game.
Spike's in the game, and instead use those other, whatever, and the extra pages, 11 extra pages or 10 extra pages for
Yeah,
original characters.
yeah,
Do that.
yeah.
And you know what? For costumes, a lot of those characters have costumes in Tour you could just easily just bring over. No big deal. Not everybody, but or make them costumeless.
Why do
Who
we even
cares?
Why do we even need pages? Like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had no problem showing all the characters on like the screen on a single screen. Like there was only like 12 per these pages. Like you could easily you're not using the real estate very
Yeah.
well.
It does seem like they've made some very interesting style choices. Like some of it is very similar to the previous Mario Kart games. Makes a lot of sense. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Nintendo. The character
Well,
select screen
I
was
think on the
fine.
character select screen, doesn't it show the whole character, not just like the little face?
I think so, but still,
So they want people to see the costumes in their entirety. That's
yeah,
probably why they did it.
but
I'm
still,
not saying I agree with
yeah,
it. I'm just saying that's probably
right,
why they did it.
yeah. But I mean, we do have. I mean, there's some like some of them are weird, new characters like Cow, um, and some other thing. But it
Which
is
they
cool
are
to
pushing
see.
on social media way
They're
too much.
pushing so much, but it is cool to see like Goomba and Spike
Yeah.
and characters like that in the game is fun. But then there's others that I'm like, who asked for this? Did
Is Wiggler back in this?
anybody ask for this? I think Wiggler's back, yeah. And you can even play a dolphin on a dolphin bike. So that'd be interesting. So yeah, it seems
Or
like
is King Boo there? Like, or
I
both King
believe
Boos, or just
so.
one? Is it just
I
one or both?
I don't know. I only saw one Boo. I assumed it was King, but I can't remember.
Because even
But
Tour has both King Boos, the regular King Boo and then the one from Luigi's Mansion, which has like
oh,
a different crown and everything.
I think it's a
yeah.
standard King Boo is the one that's there.
It's probably
Unless
a
I mean
different outfit or
that
something like that.
certainly could
Maybe.
be.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much, since they're clearly taking stuff from Tour, no questions. Take the other stuff from Tour. Don't take just cherry pick. Like, there's a lot of good stuff you're leaving on the table that will be lost. Bring it over.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems interesting. Yeah, they've I mean, here's my thoughts. I think if they've shown us everything they've have so far in the game, then I feel like they're leaving room for the future updates. Like they're planning that saying, "Hey, this isn't done yet. We will be adding more." And maybe that is also why they're charging just $80 up front because it's almost like we're prepaying for future DLC. That's just how I kind of viewing it because I
You
almost kind
think
of
they're
feel like,
gonna give you a free DLC? Oh, Steve, that's so cute.
well, hopefully they'll include it in my NSO subscription like they did before.
Maybe.
Um, and they have a precedent for that. So, but it almost kind of seems like they're like, because I'd expect even some like quality of life things. They're like, you've learned this in previous games. Why do we have to have pages and pages and pages of stuff? We don't want this. We told you in Tears of the Kingdom that we don't want pages and pages and pages of things to flip through, and yet now you're giving us tons and tons of pages of
Don't
characters.
don't
Like,
forget Echoes of Wisdom.
oh, that's what it was. Echoes of Wisdom. I didn't mean Tears of the Kingdom also had it, but Echoes of Wisdom had it even more. And so like those are weird choices, I guess, in the middle of this. But I feel like it has opened the door for potentially some future updates as well. So let's just before we wrap up this Mario Kart segment, what are some things that we kind of alluded to a couple things already. I would love for a free, a battle mode where you can pick whatever you want and kind of create your own battle mode. You guys have mentioned a couple as well. What do you hope would be that we'd hope to eventually see in the game? Anything that you're like, oh, this would be really cool to have in Mario Kart World. Anything, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, as I said at the top, I think the track editor has been a highly requested thing, but I have no idea how they would implement this in this kind of world. Like, I don't know if that's even feasible or possible with like all the different locations and stuff where you can visit. But um, I certainly wouldn't mind to actually see a lot of the other courses like return because I mean, I feel like a lot of the heavy lifting was already done to get them into 8 Deluxe, and obviously you would still need to add whatever some grind rails and other stuff like that, and that's obviously not going to be free. But as you kind of alluded to, they could technically just say like, hey, we actually are planning for some updates down the road, but since like we understand like you had the higher cost of entry, like these are all gonna be on the physical version of the game, and like hey, you can actually enjoy all these other tracks and stuff in addition to what we initially announced when like it came out on whatever June 5th. So
Mhm.
I'm really hoping to see a lot more tracks expansion because obviously they made a big deal that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had like the most tracks in track history, and then obviously then kind of makes it seem like we went back in time a little bit, even kind of regressed, and especially with like the character menus that we were saying. So I really hope that there's other things down the road like that. Um, or you could easily have like the mission mode unlock like lots of different characters, kind of like how Smash Brothers takes that kind of approach too. So, I mean, there could be a lot here, but obviously they're not really trying to dive in and give us the entire game and
Mhm.
everything. And but at least in terms of the direct, I don't like we already said it didn't really hit the mark of why it's worth it, but I really hope there's a lot of hidden stuff that they didn't show that's kind of like behind the scenes that will be obviously making it worth it.
Yeah. I could see them. I mean, I think an easy way for my mind is to make like a track editor or other tracks they're bringing back from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or whatever. Just make it like a virtual world that you drive to and you park your car and it's all virtual reality and you're like kind of in there, or it's a separate world altogether that's not connected to the rest. I think there's ways of doing it that wouldn't feel weird at all and would make sense. You're like, oh, cool. This is just a completely different mode or a completely different world I'm going to. That's not interconnected like the others, and I wouldn't feel weird about that at all. So I think it's definitely doable.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of harder to think that way when they make the character select screen. Like, oh, here's go through all these different pages of stuff instead of making the icon boxes a little bit smaller and kind of optimizing how you pick costumes and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Barry, what would you like to see?
Well, one of the things I know, Greg, you mentioned about like the Mario Kart 8 courses and stuff. You have to remember this: Mario Kart 8 had 0G. This game does not. So any course from Mario Kart 8 that's brought over will have to be altered to remove the 0G segments. And that means any course from the booster pack that had 0G elements added would have to have them,
Would they have
unadded.
to? I mean, could they just
Yeah.
port over the entire game and its mechanics within Mario Kart
But the
World?
carts, remember they got rid of the glider and they got rid of, all that
Yeah,
stuff, and the 0G is also gone. They would have to alter the models of the Mario Kart World
yeah,
racers and the cars to all do that. And remember, it's all like all the wheels are not like separate units. Each car is its own thing. So each car will have to get altered to have the wheels turn. And not saying
I,
it's not possible.
I
What?
seem to remember a lot of the booster courses didn't actually use the anti-gravity thing like in the way it was intended. I
not
understand
all
there's
of them.
parts
Yeah,
where your tires still turn, but it almost was like it didn't feel like it was even like absolutely needed unless it was just due to the way the camera was presented.
right.
But um it seemed like that would be an easy conversion saying like, hey, this is no longer anti-gravity and boom, it's just flat track again. Like
Sure.
I
Unless
mean,
they're just
obviously a
going
lot
to
of the
say,
yeah.
you know what, just go buy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's still a great game.
Yeah,
Give us more money.
that's it. What I can see them doing, though, you talked about the track editor. I can see a newly discovered island has been found off the
Mhm.
course of Mario Kart World. And on this island, there's a track editor. On this island are all these other courses, and because it shows that it's an island, even though it's a world, it's like a continent. So we know that there could always be other continents or other places to go. So I would like to see other places. Like I alluded to, I'd like to see a point system put in a mode, point attack mode. And I'd like to see tournaments like they do in Tour every week,
Mm,
weekly tournaments in there. Because again, it's just having a tournament of races is silly because everyone that's going to compete will, especially on CPU, will just get first place. But the points changes everything a billion percent. I'd like to see them do new versions of the courses, the tricks. I like to see them add new characters, people who want and request characters, highly requested characters that have been cut. Bring them back. Uh, Bring back more guest characters. Right, we had Link, we had the villages, we had Inklings. They're gone. bring them back over, and just have fun
Me
with it. So I
characters.
think new characters entirely. Yeah, I
Me
mean
still
DLCs again.
exists.
Me's
Those new me characters that are in what game is that look weird?
Tamagotchi Life has me characters.
I know. When they show up in something else, they kind of seemed a little weird. I forget what it was.
Nintendo Sports.
Was it the
Nintendo Switch
Switch
Sports.
Tour?
Yes, that's what it is. I think the Switch Tour. I think, yeah.
I mean, and the sky's the limit when it comes to
Yeah.
DLC. And I agree with you. I think Mario Kart World will get DLC. I think they will keep adding to it for a bit, like they could have done with Mario Kart Deluxe. How they do and what they charge is a different story. If they come out and they say, here's $50 DLC and there's a lot of content, people might be okay with it. If it's $50 DLC and it's like, here's 10 new courses, people will rage.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and if it's included with NSO like the booster course was, I think that would be a very big selling point.
Absolutely. Well, I think what you alluded to with the island, I think totally makes sense. I mean, I could see them even coming out with a Zelda island. Here's a pack of Zelda
Yeah,
characters. Here's all these Zelda, courses. Here's a Animal Crossing one, or here's a, Fire Emblem or whatever it is. They want a Star Fox one. Like, can you get an R-wing in the game? That'd be fun. But that
F-Zero
that
one.
can be really cool. And F-Zero, yeah, that's where you're getting your F-Zero games. You're gonna build it right into Mario Kart or something. I could see them just having additional islands that have these others, or maybe they're islands that eventually connect or something. I don't know how they'll work out, but I could see that happening for sure. Let's move off of just Mario Kart and move over to the Switch 2 as a whole. So what was it? Back when it was originally announced, we heard that pre-orders were going to open up on April 9th. And then we heard that pre-orders were going to be postponed. And these tariffs that keep changing and keep going all over the place affected the Nintendo Switch 2, and all of a sudden I went from barely paying attention to politics to now trying to follow politics all the time, because I'm going to try to figure out when and how am I going to get my new video game system. And finally, just a couple days ago, we got word that pre-orders will open up on April 24th. So as we were recording this on April 22nd, we are less than 48 hours away right now. But the pre-orders are going to open up on April 24th, and of the different prices of everything, the system itself has not changed, and the bundle has not changed. So it's still going to be $449, basically $450 for just the console in the US, and $500 for the Mario Kart bundle in the US. Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza prices will stay at $79 and $69 respectively. And so those prices are going to they're going to stay the same, but the prices of the accessories have changed, at least some of them. So when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, it jumped up $5 from $80 to $85. The Joy-Con 2 pair also jumped up $5. It's almost $5 across the board. Not entirely, but a lot of it is just $5 increases. So Joy-Con 2 pair went from 90 to 95. The Joy-Con 2 charging grip went from 35 to 40. The Joy-Con 2 strap went from 13 to 14, so a whole dollar increase on that one. The wheel set went from 20 to 25. The camera went from 50 to 55. The dock set went from 110 to 120. The carrying case and the screen protector set went from 34 to 40. The all-in-one carrying case went from 80 to 85. The AC adapter went from 29 to 35. And the micro SD Express card, the 256 gigabyte one that Nintendo has been advertising, I believe stated at $60 what it was before. And so we saw updates in the accessories for prices ranging from $1 more up to $10 more, depending on which accessory. and yet the price of the overall system has stayed the same, and the games seem to have stayed the same as well. So before we jump into the pre-order details, because I want to go through that and let you guys know what we found out from, when, and how the major retailers in the U.S. are doing all that. We'll jump into that in a second. But just a update on the actual pre-order date and the pricing changes and everything. Barry, what do you think about all this?
Well, you forgot one of the biggest ones of all is the Amiibo. They announced the Amiibo are going up $10 each. That's the Street Fighter one and the new Zelda ones. Each of them are going up $10. That is insane. So many people are saying like F it at this point. I think
I
this
said
is
that long
terrible.
ago. Way too
Yeah,
many
I
amiibo to
think this is
collect.
terrible. I think this is ridiculous. I don't blame Nintendo. I understand this, they're future proofing themselves. The problem is if tomorrow, boom, you know, our president decides to cancel all tariffs like he's done before, and China decides to lower their tariffs, these prices are not going down. They're not. Because if they do, I mean, they could before pre-orders go open. So they technically could now, they could tomorrow. But I think after pre-orders open, especially after they ship, I think it would be a logistic nightmare to refund everybody, that they'll just leave it as such. And with the unstableness of our economy right now, there's no saying even if those tariffs disappear tomorrow, they won't be reinstated in a week or two. So it really depends, and it sucks when politics get involved and start ruining the fun for everybody else, because I think we're all just trying to live our lives and have fun and just trying to make it through, right? We're until whenever our death day is, and we don't want someone else to make things more difficult for us. No one wants things to be more difficult. Well, I shouldn't say no one. I'm sure there's someone out there, but the majority of people don't want things to be more difficult, and that's the case. We're in a situation where one person is literally costing us, and I say us, I mean every gamer out there that is interested in Switch 2 stuff. It's costing us all more money, and it sucks. And it's not just on gaming stuff; it's everything. Every market is affected. It's literally costing all of us more money in America. And I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of tired of all this winning. I'm ready I'm ready to start losing and paying less for my stuff again.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Greg, what do you think?
It's kind of funny because that's what was promised, but we're getting the exact opposite of that. So,
Yep.
and I understand Barry's sentiment. It is one person kind of causing it, but it is more that the majority of those that participated chose to increase all of our prices. So that is something that people should be living with and understanding that they directly caused this. Like we had an option to say no to increase prices and costs, but people said like, yes, these things are not cheap enough. Let's raise those prices up $5-10. So congratulations
Yep.
to you for doing that. So but yeah, I mean, it's not exactly Nintendo's fault. I mean, they have to deal with what the hands that they're given, and that's unfortunate. They had to delay the pre-orders to begin with, but I mean, obviously, it's literally. I saw a video earlier today. It was like it's basically the worst time to be announcing a console and to be trying to release said console because of all the like uncertainty that's been going on from everything that's been being caused. So like they went from a very awesome position in 2020 with Animal Crossing like ballooning everything up, then now they got dealt like the absolute worst hand for April here. So
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
remember it
I
was supposed to
mean,
be last year. It got delayed for whatever reason, and boy, I bet they're pissed about that now even more.
yeah,
Yeah. If they only stuck to my fall release schedule, and I've been fine.
right.
So I'm
But yeah,
happy
I
for
mean,
June. Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad that the console price itself hasn't been affected, but obviously,
Mm-hmm.
like this is going to be certainly impacting a lot of the accessories. I mean, certain
Yeah.
stuff like the wheel set is probably not going to be a major thing for most players. I mean, unless you really like the wheel driving and like Mario Kart and other games that use like the steering controls, but like the other things like the straps or whatever, I mean, you're not really going to be buying those unless you're like getting them destroyed or losing them or whatnot. And
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the
well,
carrying case or the camera and stuff like that,
Yeah.
most people will be
yeah,
I'm
buying.
with you
yeah,
though. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of people buying them, but I look at this list and I'm like, how many will I plan on getting? I plan on getting one of the
Pro
new Pro
controller.
controllers, and I would like to get another dock, and I'll eventually try to get. I'm not going to buy that 256 micro SD card, but I'm eventually going to try to get a bigger SD card. But I'm planning on using a camera that I already have. I'm planning, and like I probably won't get that specific carrying case. I may get something else, or maybe just slip it in my bag for a while until I find one I like. I don't need another AC adapter, especially if it comes with one, like, because I've got tons of like USB-C adapters at this point. I don't need the wheel set. I don't need the strap. I don't need the charging grip. I don't need the Joy-Con pair. I'll just have the ones on there. I've got plenty of Pro controllers for my Switch that will also work on the Switch too. So, like, yes, this is unfortunate, but I think me personally, I'm not directly impacted as much by it because I'm only planning on getting like 2 of those accessories. But for someone that's like jumping in brand new, that sucks for them, for
Or if
sure.
they have a lot of kids, like I wouldn't normally buy that wheel set because I never used the Pro controller or the Joy-Cons like that. But as my son gets older, he
Mhm.
might want to do that, and then I'm going to get him the wheel set, and I'm paying more for it.
Sure.
Hopefully not at that point, but everyone's situation is different, and everyone's going to want different things.
Mhm.
Like Pro controllers, I get 2 of Pro controllers because what I do is I'll use my Pro controller till it dies, and then I'll switch out with the other one on the charger and use that one till it dies. So I'm always swapping, but I always have a Pro controller ready to go because I play dock 99% of the time. So I
Mm.
need to get 2 Pro controllers.
I
So
keep
right
mine
there,
charging all the time, so it's always got 40 hours of battery on it. So,
I let it drain. It's always better for the lithium batteries to drain it and then recharge it.
mm,
yeah, and
So
I think
that's
that's
my
where
difference.
I'm at this weird spot. Like it's in between, like both you guys. Like, while
mm,
Barry might be going for most of the accessories, and Steve's going more limited. Like I feel like I might be possibly a
Not
little bit
most.
more in the middle. Like, we're like, yes, the Pro controller is going to be needed, and a second one probably more down the line, probably not like immediately at launch, like the first one. And I probably want at least one other Joy-Con set, but that was not going to be a super priority again. Like, right when it launches either. But then, like, the camera is obviously going to be somewhat like one of the things I want to get first, just to play around with the game chat and other things like that. But um, and then I do usually like getting a carrying case, but like even for the previous one, I had like the Zelda one, and I really enjoyed using that one for quite a lot. So I might wait for some other designs and options to come out, but right before I just jump in and get the only one that's there.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just getting the case, camera, and Pro controller. I'm not getting a lot of accessories or most of them.
Mm.
It's just those. So
Let's move into. I want to talk about the pre-orders, because maybe you've been checking this out. I'd recommend Wario64 is one of the best places. If you're not following him on social media, that's one of the best places to find a lot about any kind of pre-order stuff or any of that stuff. So from research from him, but also some other things that I've checked out, I've compiled this list of at least the major retailers that I know in the U.S. and you guys can add to what I found. But first of all, if you're wanting to go to GameStop, GameStop is going to be allowing pre-orders at 11 a.m. and this is all on April 24th again. So April 24th, 2025. GameStop, 11 a.m. Eastern time online and at the store openings in the stores. So whenever your GameStop opens, you'll be able to do it on April 24th and at 11 a.m. Eastern online. They've also noted that they're going to have a midnight release at all the stores across the U.S. at least at midnight Eastern time. So that means 10 p.m. Mountain time. So I'll get it at the same time as Barry gets it in Eastern, but I'll have a little more time before I go to sleep, unlike Barry. Or maybe Barry's not going to sleep that night. And then, but that's going to happen on June 5th or like 9 p.m. Pacific time. So that will be across the board. So And then GameStop is offering a trade-in. So if you have an OLED Switch, you're going to get $175 for your OLED, $125 for your standard Switch, and then $100 for your Lite if you choose to trade it in. They also have an update offer there, so an upgrade offer, so you can switch over all your save data and all that stuff in the store. So that's for GameStop. And then Target is at midnight Eastern time, online only. And then Walmart is the same, midnight Eastern time, online only. But Walmart's also guaranteeing that you'll get your Switch 2 via free delivery the morning of June 5th at 9 a.m. or sooner if you pre-order it on April 24th. So I don't know if they're going to limit how many you can pre-order or how many pre-orders they're going to take or whatever, but to guarantee it that morning is kind of interesting. Best Buy is, as of now, all we have confirmed is a date of April 24th. At
No, I
least
think
when I was,
midnight.
did
I,
they confirm that yet? Because I
I
know
last
before it
last I saw
was,
was midnight.
okay, the last thing I saw was that was through one of the chat bots but it wasn't actually on their site. So maybe they've changed it since then. That was also, I think this morning was the last time I checked. So they may have, they may have confirmed that it is midnight on April 24th.
9 p.m. Pacific, which is
Okay,
midnight. So yeah.
cool. And then they're going to have pickup late night store openings at 12:01 Eastern time on June 5th as well. And then Amazon, surprise, surprise, has no confirmed pre-orders as of now. They have a little beef with Nintendo. If you haven't remembered, if you don't remember or you didn't know. And then the Nintendo stores, both in New York and San Francisco, as of now, have no confirmed pre-orders, but they will probably be stocked up a ton in those stores for sure. And then Nintendo.com, of course, has the pre-orders that we've talked about before on previous episodes. But those invitations, if you signed up and got in on that list, the invitations start coming out on May 8th with the release day delivery not actually guaranteed, which is not exactly the same as all the different stores pre-ordering. So I would recommend going after whatever you can. And then hopefully you've also signed up on Nintendo.com and maybe that's kind of like a backup for you. But yeah, do you guys know of any others that are going on that they left out of that list at all? Haven't seen anything. So Greg, what's your plan for pre-ordering? Where are you going to hope to get your Switch? You're going to get like one at every store just in case, or are you going to go after specific stores?
I mean, I'll probably be going after Pacific stores. I had really good luck with the original Switch at Best Buy, so I was probably going to be at least trying to focus there. And hopefully, if it is like midnight, then at least I can know, like, if I have to, like, hey, I might need to go to GameStop, whatever, in the morning if I'm unsuccessful. So, um, but I guess the lines are going to be forming there too, so that might be a pretty long night. But um, I'll probably be mostly targeting that. I did sign up for the Nintendo one because I understand like weren't be able to promise the same day like arrival, but I at least wanted to at least be signed up just to have that as a potential random backup. But at least for me, it kind of stinks as I'll be on vacation like the day after. So I if I did get it and like they couldn't get it to me like release day, then it's gonna be sitting on like a porch for like a week, and that's definitely not very ideal there. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, if it comes to it, I'll get it sorted and start meeting some of the neighbors. Like, hey, I'm expecting a very important package. Please hold on to it for until we get back. And but
Yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, my main plan will be Best Buy, then it might just depend on where it goes from there and might just dump into like Walmart if it's easier. But I feel like there's been issues with Walmart me in the past, so I would probably rather stick to Best Buy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm leaning toward Best Buy as well, but I I may I mean that I may go ahead and look into either Target or Walmart if I'm able to do it as well. I think I'm gonna go try to be at our GameStop when it opens. I believe it's like 10 a.m. and try to place an order at GameStop as well. Um, it'd be nice. I like the idea of GameStop and Best Buy both having midnight openings to be able to get it, or 10 p.m. For me. So that'd be nice to be able to get it, because I'm coming back from. So I'm going down to speaking of their podcast, Pod Meets World, like the Boy Meets World podcast, is coming to Denver on June 4th. And so I'm going down to Denver to like see that. And if I could just like cruise back into town and stop by Best Buy or stop by GameStop and get my Switch 2 and go home, that'd be a fantastic night. That would just creme de la creme right there if that all happens just like that. So that's what I'm hoping for. What do you think, Barry?
Yeah, like Greg, I have the Nintendo signed up as a backup, but my plan is midnight, Best Buy, hopefully, Walmart and Target as a backup. I have my wife also going to try and help. And then I immediately have to go to sleep because I fly out in the morning, and when GameStop opens, I'll be on the plane, so I can't do anything on GameStop. But I told my wife, hey, try and at least order online because she can't get to the store, but at least try online, because if we wind up with extra, we'll help out other people, return whatever.
Yep.
And my company is also, trying to help everybody out, so I might wind up being able to help someone out, or they'll help me out if I can't get one because they're the ones pulling me out to Vegas. So
There you go. So yeah, let us know what you guys' plans are, and of course, like honestly, if you end up getting like 3 or 4 pre-orders, and you don't want to be someone who goes and scalps them, but you want to help some other people out, definitely jump in our Discord. That'd be a great place to say, hey, I got an extra pre-order. Is anybody looking for one? Just be a friend to other Nintendo gamers out there, and let's help each other out, because Nintendo has stated that they are trying to get as much in stock ahead of time. Apparently, they've already imported a bunch of them, and they're sitting and waiting, I've heard. And so that's apparently what's going to happen, trying to get ahead of some of the tariff prices and all that stuff. And so there's apparently supposed to be enough, but I do know on the Mario Kart World Direct, they had a thing at the end that said the Mario Kart bundle might be in shorter stock. And if it is, then you may have to wait till the fall, I think it is, to be back in stock. And so if you're planning on getting the bundle, definitely pre-order it for sure. Are either of you guys planning on it? I'm planning on getting the bundle. Are either of you guys planning on it?
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think a further clarification, I thought it said that the bundle was no longer going to be available in fall, so it was almost like a temporary
Oh, did I read that
bundle.
wrong?
That's what my understanding of that was.
Bring it back up, Steve.
There could still be lower amounts of it in total, but based on what I thought I had saw, it was more like limited, and like it's not going to be around come the fall.
Okay, that's interesting. Let me actually, I pulled up this limited time production through. You are correct. Sorry about that. So limited time production through fall 2025, available while supplies last. So just in general, it's a limited time production through the fall. So there may be less, but not necessarily there's going to be more in the fall. It's just going to be less, period, and potentially only available through the fall. So
That means they're going to have a new bundle for the holiday in the fall.
Probably. That's when they'll drop some like colored Joy-Cons or whatever and make me regret my early purchase and all that stuff that they do before. Maybe that's when the
It'll be a
OLED's going
Switch
to
2
drop.
with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yes, that's what's going to happen.
I was going off of his regret, and it'll be kind of like the 3DS launch. We're like, oh, by the way, instead of $450, it's going to be $350, and like,
Hey, but then at least we'll get Ambassador. We'll get some stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
You can get Super Mario Brothers for the NES.
Yes.
Play Mario like you've never had before, and full 2D graphics on the.
Watch it be something
120
like
frames per second.
Watch it be like, as a Switch 2 ambassador, we're going to give you Mother 3 in English. And that's the only way to get Mother 3 in English officially.
They would do something like that. Oh boy. Well, let's move on and get ready to close this out. Just looking ahead at the next couple weeks. some different games that will be coming out. I'll be scrolling them on the screen as usual. Compliments of Metacritic. But yeah, I actually, like, truthfully, like, I did not look at this list ahead of time. So if anything pops out to you guys, feel free to shout it out.
Hentai puzzle volleyball girls. There you go,
That I
Steve.
knew that's what was going to stand out to you, not for me so much. Bee Flowers Royal Garden, that's my kind of game. I really don't know if there's any like big games coming out over the next couple weeks that I remember. But as I continue to scroll these, if anything jumps out to you guys, feel free to mention it. But what games are you going to be playing over the next couple weeks, Greg?
I'll probably be diving deeper into the Somnium Files, the AI game that Barry generously got for us, and then I think I missed like that ice game that he probably gave me sent a code a while back, and I failed to redeem it, so I got to go back and definitely check out that for like the game chat. And I believe those are at least the main two on the list for now, and then if anything else comes up, it'll just be whatever a backlog game. But I'm not anticipating that at this point. But yeah,
Nice.
like you said, I don't think there's any major titles that we're releasing that I would just dive in and jump in and get. But obviously, if any come through as a game chat, then that's a different story and situation, and would be taking a look at those.
For sure. Barry, how about you?
Yeah, so for me, my main thing is gonna be Lunar. Want to go through Lunar 1 and 2. I don't know how much I'm gonna play this weekend. But depending on how it is in the plane, I might, play something else in the meantime. That'll maybe a visual novel, maybe go back to. I'll do some of the side stuff in House of Fata Morgana. We'll see. I did see on the list, Hundred Tales or the new one from the Danganronpa guy,
Mm,
100 Lines or whatever it is. I've heard good things about it. Heard it's like 150 hours. There's 100 endings.
wow.
One reviewer actually did it, and like the creator like retweeted it and was like, "You're like one of the few people that have done this and got like the platinum trophy on the game, which gets all 100 endings." And I think the first ending is like 50 hours in. I'm like, "Oh man!"
Ooh.
But I love. I'm not a big fan of the style. Like it's more like Greg's thing. It's like a strategy RPG, but I love the Zero Escape or AI and the Danganronpa. They're like two peas in a pod in terms of the type of games and the types of stories. And they just did Rain Code, which was
Mm,
fantastic, and now they're doing this. So I love their games. So I'll probably, I would definitely get it. I don't know if I'll get around to it. It depends on how long it takes me to do Lunar 1 and 2, and how much time I get this weekend.
mhm,
And with game chats, who knows? I've been getting a lot of review codes, so that's been taking priority.
for sure. Yeah, I don't think there's any new games, thank goodness, honestly, that are coming out that I'm really wanting to get. So yeah, I probably spend some more time with the Somnium Files. Also, I need to get around to the Galaxy games that Barry and I are gonna eventually talk about as well. Um, but yeah, I think that's gonna be a lot of my time is probably pushing through Somnium Files. I'm going to be traveling, as I alluded to, next week, and so I think so far I've only played that game on handheld, and it's held up enough where I think it could be one that would be fun to play on the plane as well, and so potentially doing that. I'm flying with a friend this time, so it depends on. This is the first time flying with him, so I have no idea if he's going to be like a talker the whole time or if we're going to like zone into our own little space. So we'll see if I get any gaming done or if I'll just be talking the whole time. But yeah, that's as it happens before. Like I'll be going to those games that are really good on mobile over the next couple weeks, just with travel and stuff. So it may turn up that I'll look at like some of my archive stuff and like, oh yeah, I forgot about that game. Or I forgot about that game. This is be a good season to be able to jump into some of those that I forgot, or those simple games that could be fun to just pick up and play for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. So. But our next episode is going to be recording live on May 6th. So just a couple weeks from today. and we'll be basically a month out from the Nintendo Switch 2 at that point. So getting exciting. Soon, very, very soon, we're going to be talking about our experiences with Nintendo Switch 2. Neither of you guys got into the experience stuff at all, right? Like, we're not something I
I
forgot. Like,
tried.
oh, you guys are like, oh, I forgot you're going to go or anything like that. Greg, you didn't get in at all?
No, I didn't really try because obviously they didn't have anything here local for me. So I mean,
That's true. Yep.
I threw around the idea of going to New York, but then I wasn't quite sure with how everything had landed, and then with Barry trying to get in the very first session and not willing to wait like for a later session in the day, then I was kind of like, well, maybe it's not quite worth it. So then I ended up not even like trying to apply for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here.
I
There's
was
like
trying to beat
nothing
I
near
was trying to beat
Denver.
the traffic is what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, going to the city on a Saturday is very different than going to the city on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah. So our first experience, unless Nintendo, decides to be very generous with us and gives us an opportunity beforehand. At least Greg and I don't know about, Barry might have some connections with his company. But and if he did, he probably couldn't say it. So but
Here's my Switch too. There it is. Look, I'm playing it right now.
but our experience is going to be on the night of June 5th, and are both of you? No, Barry, you're taking off right after the pre-orders. Greg's taking off right after the release. Did I get
Correct.
that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so thankfully it comes out on a Thursday and I leave at Friday, so like it'll be whatever Wednesday at whatever 11 p.m. that I can go pick it up from the Best Buy if all things work out. Um, the initial plan would be to like come home and get like set up and download any system updates and then like immediately go to sleep so then I can like wake up and just enjoy like the system. So
You're better than I will. I will stay up all night. I did it with Switch. I'll probably do it again with Switch 2. And I'll be
well,
horrible shape the next day, but it would have been fun.
yeah, I don't know what
You know
kind of
what?
updates await me, and it's gonna take a while to download Mario Kart because they're like, oh, by the way, it's like 8,000 gigabytes. So it's like I'm not gonna be like, oh, look at that, it's 1 a.m. It's still got an hour left. Oh, look at that, it's 2 a.m. Still has an hour left. It's like I'm not gonna.
Plus, you know how many
I don't,
people are going to be downloading that at the same time?
Yeah.
There's probably
so
going to be server crashes. This is Nintendo we're talking about.
So I was like, that's what I was like. I could just easily just mark the stuff to download like right away, put it in sleep mode. It's on the charger, and then I can get a good night's rest and just be able to like. I even took like the day to enjoy the system before I leave for the vacation. So
You know?
like I would love to just stay up until like 5 a.m. But realistically, I think a lot of that time would just be wasted waiting. Like, oh, Mario Kart still has time to download. Oh, I had to download like
True.
a 3-hour system update that was required on day one, like the Wii U was. Like, I don't want to have to like sit through that and be like, I'll answer
Yeah.
you. Like, I could be playing this, but no, I have to download these stupid
I'm gonna have to
updates.
plug it directly into
Yeah.
Ethernet for my fiber speeds and download as fast as possible.
Yeah, the last time I did a midnight launch was Tears of the Kingdom, and I came home and I put it in, and my wife went to bed. She's like, "All right, have fun." And I think I stayed up only till 2 o'clock, which I've done plenty of times. And I'm like, "That's it. I'm done. I'll go back tomorrow."
Yeah.
Like I'm not staying up all night. I'm too old for
Depending on
this
what
shit.
game you're playing, it could be dangerous to play when you're that tired. Like I make some choices that are not good.
Yeah, I'd rather go to sleep and not throw off my routine because I'm not a
Yeah.
teenager anymore. As a teenager and a 20-something, I did it all the time.
I'm
And
still
and that
holding on to
was Tears
17.
Tears was before my son was born. He was 2 months away from being born. So or a month and a half away from being born. So it was one of those cases where now it's like Thursday, Thursday morning, he's gonna get up in the morning. I take him to daycare and I have work to do. Although who knows? Who knows? My boss may give us all the day off on that day,
It's true. You
which
work
he
for a video
probably
game
will.
company, so
He probably will. Like, go have fun. So
it's true. It technically is work, kind of for you. Yeah.
experiencing the
There you go.
system and getting to know the stuff. Yeah.
There you go. Well,
And then they can make a physical for the Nintendo Switch tour.
there you go. Well, very, very
No.
soon we're going to be able to say we are now playing together with power.
Yeah.
because
with
Nintendo Switch is all together, anytime, anywhere.
with
I,
5 frames a
I,
second on the
I,
bottom of the screen.
exactly. They keep showing it over and over and over again. They're laying it thick
It
that it is going to
looks
be a
bad.
very bad quality of game streaming. Anyway, we're basically hitting 2 hours in this episode, so we should probably wrap it up. But thank you guys so much for being with us. Again, we're going to be back live again on May 6th, 2025 for our next episode and talking all about probably some more anticipation. Anything else that drops for Nintendo Switch 2 will be 1 month out, as we said, from that release. So there's going to be lots of stuff to probably talk about, speculate about, and maybe some additional rumors and all those things. Hopefully, we actually have our pre-orders by next time, and they don't postpone them again. But all those different things, and yeah, excited to talk to you guys in the chat. So be sure to join us live if you never have. Again, that's May 6th. We'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Hope to see you there. Make sure you subscribe on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube. Also follow us on Twitch and our all of our social media, and join us in Discord. All those links are going to be in the show notes and the YouTube description. Love to have you on all those places. Be sure to share this with other Nintendo gamers that you know as well. Barry and Greg, thank you so much for joining all of us again. And until next time, happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you next time.